Hello, Ryan here, and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all of the news from the week just past. Be sure to subscribe if you like what you see, and let's get on with it. This week, we check out Cloud Imperium's thoughts on the Pyro playground, the winner of the C1 LTI package is announced, plus Alpha 322 has just rolled out to Wave 1. So the big news of this week is that Alpha 322 went to Wave 1, so it is no longer with just the Evocati under NDA, it is available to the Wave 1 testers to check out and play. Now, Alpha 322 is really shaping up with some exciting new features, many updated current features, and as usual, quality of life improvements and bug fixes. Now, the testing focus for this current patch is stability testing first and foremost, the new player haircuts, mineable balancing, procedural FPS recoil and FPS weapon balance, structural salvage, and the new Arena Commander multi-crew work. Now, the derelict settlements and openable cargo containers are in, but not in their entirety, so these are not ready yet for testing. Now, I won't delve into everything in this video, but one of the biggest aspects of 322 is the new structural salvaging update, which allows players to literally clean up ships and vehicles completely, breaking them down into space dust essentially, sucking them into the new storage section of the salvaging ships, paving the way for future crafting options as well, it seems. Now, this system is currently not finished, but it is great to finally see the Reclaimer Claw in action in some fashion, plus the ability to fully recycle a ship or vehicle, which will be definitely helpful for the servers. Now, the new player hair does look great, although this is just new hair types using the new Star Hair tech, and not the full character customizer, which will likely come next year, but it is nice and refreshing to see some much better looking hair, some pretty much next gen hair as well. The updates to the weapons and their feels, plus more FPS combat balance, is a step closer to getting the game more refined and polished, as we saw it at CitizenCon, so that is a great step in the right direction to getting the game feeling more like a game, and less like an alpha. They have also changed up the tractor and towing UI to increase readability, plus improve the user experience. And it does mention for mining, adjustment to scaling for ship mineable nodes to adjust mining to trend slightly closer to prospector difficulties. Now, I have no idea what this actually means, so if anyone can shed some light into what these changes have done, please do so in the comments below. Also, armor shop prices have been increased across the board, excluding flight suits and undersuits, likely based on the economy updates that they're doing in the background. And they have updated the front-end messages as well to let players know about the server crash recovery and combat logging, which is an important one. So basically getting 322 ready for when the replication layer split is implemented and we can recover from 30Ks instead of getting booted back to the main menu. This message will just inform you of what's going on, asking you to pretty much hang on and not jump out of the game while it recovers. Plus, it says AI on foot performance optimizations as well. And as usual, many bug fixes and crash fixes too. Now, at the time of writing this, I am yet to jump in and actually play 322, so the footage you are seeing in the background is me getting in for the first time, recording some B-roll, so I have no idea how good or bad any of the changes are, how stable 322 is. Hopefully, it looks like I'm enjoying it, and it is stable, but Alpha 322 is set to release to the live servers before Christmas, so there is still time for more patches, of course, more waves, and maybe even some more features or quality of life improvements as well. We are yet to see anything, I think, about the cloud rendering and light shafts. Hopefully that makes it in, and fingers crossed, the patch is in a great state for the holidays. So this week's Inside Star Citizen was taking a look at the Pyro playground, which was first experienced at CitizenCon, allowing those attending the chance to explore a good chunk of the Pyro system for the very first time, followed up by a closed test on the newly formed tech preview channel for various citizen backers. Now, available in the Pyro playground was just a snapshot of the Pyro system, which included about 3 of the 6 planets, with a few of the space stations and many points of interest planetside, like gang and civilian settlements. Now, as mentioned, this was just a cross-section of where they are at with the Pyro system as they continue to flesh it out, and this allows Cloud Imperium to test various aspects unique to the Pyro system and allow players to test them, getting closer and closer to its release. Now, the tech preview channel, as we have heard before, is a safe environment free from many of the usual bugs and issues that we see with the PTU or the live build, allowing Cloud Imperium to get features out for focus testing before moving the feature to the PTU or live servers. And this channel will be ever evolving, as we have already seen with the Pyro playground. They're now testing the splitting of the replication layer and the server crash recovery. Now, the Pyro playground allowed players to do anything and everything they wanted, from running cargo, mining, piracy, and even do bombing runs on an outpost, destroying fuel tanks with a ship like the C2. Very much looking forward to getting those sorts of missions again. And compared to Stanton, it is and feels completely lawless and makes you feel very vulnerable, giving players the freedom to do somewhat what they want. We will talk about that in a minute. And content-wise, the new planets were very refreshing, as they are much different to Stanton's aesthetics, and expanding on the locations that we have on Stanton, making points of interest bigger and better. They really wanted things to feel different to the Stanton system, and I, after playing it, can 100% say Pyro does feel very different. Even with it not being complete, it is very edgy, and it felt pretty uneasy as you moved around. Now, for the solar flare, they are still working on this, and what we saw is not final. They say they want to reduce its frequency, make it less annoying, and adjust how it impacts the players and NPCs as well, so having to protect yourself. Now, personally speaking, the flare was certainly an aspect that I found very unique, and I loved it. Getting a warning first and foremost, and then the intensity of it was one thing. The sounds really helped to sell the feeling that you're involved in something quite big, but seeing how it knocks out your ship systems, leaving you basically falling to the ground, and when that is combined with the upcoming flight mechanics and resource network, I think it will lead to some interesting gameplay, getting your ship systems fried because you didn't take cover, ending up maybe crash landing, being able to cruise down using the atmosphere, crashing into Pyro, where you might need to survive while you get your ship fixed before the pirates or creatures find you, or maybe just survive in general while you are working to get your ship up and running again. I think that will be some really exciting gameplay, so happy to see that expand. Now, we also got to see some unique consumables and props, like the food, approaching it from the style of a frontier world, as Pyro doesn't have the trade and infrastructure or manufacturing options that systems like Stanton does. So everything is pretty much improvised and created best they can be by the residents with what they have available. And I think it'll be interesting to see, as more and more systems come online, what is attainable in these other systems that are unique to those locations, and how all that ties into the lore and the economy. So exclusive resources found only in one system will be worth a lot more in another system, and vice versa. Now, they did say that space stations will hold a lot of new and unique gameplay, as they are not like the space stations you find in Stanton. These were abandoned and then repurposed by the residents, many of them being gangs, and will offer a lot of opportunities for players. And the same goes for the settlements. So many village-sized settlements that will offer a lot of options for gameplay, mission givers, and stuff to do that we just don't have right now in-game. Now, they are continuing to harden the Pyro system, getting it ready for its actual release, getting all the content in and getting it working with all of the AI systems as they come online, ready for when server meshing is ready. They also want to heavily work on performance, and for the settlements in particular, they are working to increase performance and optimizations, as well as expanding on the AI to have NPCs kind of doing what you would expect them to, instead of just wandering around, actually having a day-night cycle and getting involved in things. Now, of course, there were certain issues with things like spawn camping and such, and it is certainly not as black and white as this will or this will not, or this should or should not happen. It is partly due to the fact that the system is lawless, of course, and players should be able to do pretty much whatever they want, and instead of restricting the players from doing stuff artificially, they want to provide meaningful game systems, putting them in place to make it harder, pushing back against those doing so. For example, the AI being capable of stopping you from just shooting into spawn locations. Reputation will also play heavily into this, as this might result in NPCs physically stopping you from entering their station in the first place, or protecting you from others doing that kind of stuff. So not stopping players from doing what they want, but heavily discouraging it and making it difficult. Now, it was said a while back that they want players to have the freedom to do what they want, rather than, as I say, artificially stopping them via some Game Master method, and instead have these systems that push back and dynamically generate content or missions to fight back and stop it. Not to say they won't ever have to Game Master in a method, they have that option, but as they put it, if the game doesn't push back enough to counter these issues, then they have failed somewhere along the way. Now, I feel that this is the right sentiment and direction to go in, as it does reward planning and ability, but also discourages the mindlessness of doing it just for the sake of it. Piracy needs to be a fully fleshed out game mechanic like any other game mechanic, and giving people the challenge to do so is important, but discouraging people from just, I'm bored, let me just shoot into a spawn, that needs to be stopped using the game systems, but not necessarily just ripped out of the game. But as they say, there are still many more systems needed before it is at that point, but they will get there, and hopefully when we see the next Pyro experience come along, as Jared did mention, they learnt a lot from this experience that will inform the direction of the next Pyro experience, then hopefully they can be addressed somewhat there. They also said a while back that they do intend on providing access to Pyro again before the end of the year on the Tech Preview channel, so hopefully this will be open to many more players, and if they can get the replication layer out this year, out to 3.22 on the live branch or the PTU, then hopefully that can free up the Tech Preview channel for Pyro again. But that was Inside Star Citizen. Let us move on. So as many of you will be aware, we have been running a giveaway here on YouTube for a Crusader Spirit C1 LTI game package, courtesy of Cloud Imperium, so a big thank you to them for providing that giveaway. All you had to do was comment on any of my videos that I release here on YouTube over the course of the IAE, letting me know what ship you are most excited for. And the winner of that ship package is Anton Schmitter 3755, who said they are really excited to pick up a Galaxy after it was announced it will be able to construct small to large buildings. So congratulations, Anton, and I could not agree more. That is certainly going to be a great ship when base building comes along. I have commented on your comment, so please respond or DM me here on YouTube with the details that I have requested, and I will get that prize sent out to you. Thank you to everyone who took part, and again, thank you to Cloud Imperium for providing that giveaway, but let us move on. So also this week, the roadmap was updated, which committed most of 3.22, with only a few features still awaiting that blue check. I have covered all of the roadmap changes in the video linked below, so do check that out if you are interested. The Galactopedia was updated, fleshing out more of the Xi'an Empire, which is great to read about right now. Highly suggest checking out the Galactopedia if you are into game lore. That is your place to start. And finally, it is Rachel's birthday, my partner, on the 6th of December, so we will be going away for the duration of next week, and we'll be back around Friday, so there will be no streams that week, but I do have a video to go live if I am organised and remember to schedule it, taking a look at all of the features that came to a close in the month of October, so do keep your eyes out for that. That should go live sometime early to mid next week. So that brings us to the end of the show. If you do enjoy my content, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. Also, I am able to do this thanks to my very generous patrons and channel members. If you appreciate what I do and would like to help make it even better from as little as $1 a month, all of the links are provided below.